Have you ever pondered over the question, can the philosophy of Stoicism guide us towards forgiveness? This is a question that may seem complex at first glance, but it's a question worth diving into. Today, we're going to do just that. Stoicism, a philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, has a lot to say about forgiveness. It's a philosophy rooted in understanding our own reactions to the world around us and seeking to control those reactions. But how does that relate to forgiveness? And how can we use this philosophy to help us forgive others? Forgiveness is a powerful act, one that can bring peace and harmony to our lives. But it's not always easy to forgive. That's where Stoicism comes in. It provides us with tools and perspectives that can guide us towards forgiveness. So are you ready to explore this intriguing connection? Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of Stoicism and its connection to the act of forgiveness. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, may hold the key to forgiveness. But what exactly is Stoicism? Let's dive into this fascinating topic. Stoicism was born in Athens, Greece around 300 years before the Common Era. It was founded by Zeno of Citium, but popularized by philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. These thinkers left us with a treasure trove of wisdom that remains relevant even today. Now, at its core, Stoicism is a philosophy of personal ethics. It's a framework for living a good life, a life of virtue and tranquility. Stoics believe that virtue, defined as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the highest good. But what sets Stoicism apart is its unique perspective on control. Stoics distinguish between things we can control and things we can't. They argue that we can control our own actions, responses, and perspectives, but we can't control external events, other people's actions, or the natural world. This is a powerful idea, isn't it? It's the cornerstone of Stoic emotional resilience. Stoicism encourages us to accept the world as it is, not as we want it to be. It teaches us to focus on our own actions, to do what's right, and to let go of the rest. If we can do this, the Stoics say, we can achieve tranquility. We can maintain our composure even in the face of adversity. And this is where Stoicism intersects with forgiveness. Stoicism encourages us to understand that people act according to their own perspectives and knowledge. It teaches us to accept their actions, to respond with virtue, and to find peace in our own actions and reactions. Stoicism, in essence, teaches us to accept what we cannot control and to focus on what we can, our actions, our responses, and our perspectives. This simple yet profound philosophy could be the key to unlocking forgiveness, to letting go of grudges, to finding peace in our relationships, and in ourselves. But more on that in the next scene. Stay tuned. Now that we understand Stoicism, how does it relate to forgiveness? A question that naturally arises, and a connection that may not be immediately evident. Stoicism, at its core, is about accepting the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's a philosophy that promotes understanding and acceptance, two crucial elements of forgiveness. But how exactly do these concepts intertwine? Imagine someone wrongs you. Your initial reaction might be anger, resentment, or perhaps a desire for revenge. These are all natural responses, yet they chain us to our negative emotions, preventing us from moving forward. This is where Stoicism steps in. It teaches us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we can't. We can't control other people's actions, but we can control our responses to them. Stoicism encourages us to understand that people act based on their own perspectives and experiences. If someone wrongs you, it's because they believe in their own way that what they're doing is right. This doesn't justify their actions, but it helps us understand them, and in understanding, we can begin to let go of our resentment. Holding on to resentment is like holding on to a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else, yet you are the one who gets burned. Stoicism, in its wisdom, provides us with the tools to drop that coal. It tells us that forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about us. It's about releasing ourselves from the burden of resentment and anger. Stoicism shows us the path to forgiveness. It's a path that starts with acceptance, moves through understanding, and ends with the release of resentment. It's a path that doesn't ignore the wrongs done to us, but instead, it helps us to deal with them in a healthier, more constructive way. Stoicism provides us with the tools to let go of our negative emotions and to forgive, not for the other person's sake, but for our own peace of mind. It's a philosophy not just for enduring life, but for living it fully and freely. How can we apply Stoicism to practice forgiveness in our daily lives? This is a question that many of us grapple with as we navigate through the ebbs and flows of life. The Stoic philosophy provides us with actionable steps to cultivate forgiveness, and in this segment, we will explore just that. Firstly, we need to understand that forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others, but rather it's about freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment. The Stoics believed in the power of acceptance and understanding that people act according to their knowledge and perception of the world. So when someone wrongs us, it's essential to remember that their actions are a reflection of their understanding, not ours. This perspective allows us to let go of resentment, leaving room for forgiveness. Secondly, we need to gain perspective. The Stoics practiced a technique called the view from above. This practice involves imagining ourselves from a distance, allowing us to see the bigger picture. When we apply this to situations where we feel wronged, it helps us realize that our problems are relatively small in the grand scheme of things. This shift in perspective can reduce the intensity of our negative emotions, making the path to forgiveness easier. Lastly, the Stoics emphasized personal growth and self-improvement. They believed that every experience, even the most painful ones, provide an opportunity for growth. When we shift our focus from the negative aspects of an experience to what we can learn from it, we allow ourselves to grow. This shift in mindset can transform our pain into a catalyst for personal development. In essence, the practice of forgiveness in Stoicism involves letting go of resentment, gaining perspective, and focusing on personal growth. These principles remind us that we have the power to choose our reactions. We can choose to hold on to anger and resentment, or we can choose to forgive and liberate ourselves. By applying these Stoic principles, we can learn to forgive and free ourselves from the prison of resentment and anger. By doing so, we not only enhance our emotional well-being but also enrich our lives with the wisdom and tranquility that Stoicism imparts. Why should we strive to incorporate Stoic forgiveness into our lives? A thought-provoking question that leads us straight into the heart of our discussion today. The benefits of Stoic forgiveness are profound and transformative. Firstly, let's consider emotional freedom. When we hold on to resentment, we're essentially chaining ourselves to the past. Stoic forgiveness allows us to break these chains, to liberate ourselves from the burden of anger and bitterness. It's like a breath of fresh air, a cleansing of the soul. We're no longer held captive by our emotions, we're free. Then there's peace of mind. Imagine a serene lake, undisturbed by the ripples of resentment or anger. That's the tranquility that Stoic forgiveness can bring to our minds. It's not about forgetting the harm done to us, but about accepting it, understanding it, and ultimately, letting it go. This acceptance allows us to live in the present, untroubled by past grievances. Improved relationships are another benefit. Stoic forgiveness is not about being a doormat or letting others walk all over us. It's about understanding that people are flawed, that mistakes are part of being human. It's about compassion and empathy. When we forgive, we open a pathway for healing and reconciliation, making our relationships stronger and more meaningful. Finally, let's talk about personal growth. Stoic forgiveness is a powerful tool for self-improvement. It teaches us patience, resilience, and empathy. It helps us cultivate a mindset of acceptance and understanding. It's a journey of self-discovery, where we learn to rise above our own limitations and become better versions of ourselves. So, why should we strive to incorporate Stoic forgiveness into our lives? Because it leads us towards emotional freedom, peace of mind, improved relationships, and personal growth. By practicing Stoic forgiveness, we can enhance our lives, find inner peace, and become the best version of ourselves. As we conclude, let's reflect on the power of Stoicism and forgiveness. We've journeyed through the world of Stoicism, understanding its core tenets and how it intersects with forgiveness. We've delved deep into the Stoic practice of forgiveness, a tool that empowers us to let go of resentment and embrace serenity. Remember the power of questions we discussed. They allow us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our reactions to the world around us. And then, we explored the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. We connected this to forgiveness, a virtue that Stoicism encourages, helping us release the burden of grudges and bitterness. In the grand scheme of things, practicing Stoic forgiveness in our lives can lead to a multitude of benefits, including inner peace, improved relationships, and a healthier mental state. Remember, forgiving is not forgetting, it's letting go of the hurt. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more enlightening content.